just so exhausted of the PhD. Hi everyone. So this is a different background because I'm actually at home in Ireland, which is the perfect place to actually reflect on this topic of burnout and things that I felt I'm doing now in the break, which are helping me to recover from the burnout, and things that I want to, apply when I go back to Oxford, so that this doesn't happen again. It's actually hard for me to do this video because in a way I sort of have to picture my PhD and Oxford again, and I was doing such a good job sort of disconnecting when I was on this holiday. And I'm really glad I took this break because I don't think I actually realized how burnt out I was. And it's been building up since I'd say July or something. And I had a mini holiday, went to Scotland for 5 days. That kind of holiday, I don't know if I really recovered during that because I was still doing these things where I was planning, I was rushing, I was going places, I was not resting as much. There was a whole list of things I wanted to do while I was in Scotland. I was still physically exerting myself, going hiking and stuff. So I don't know, and I don't know if I really recovered, and I think that might be it, because I think we kind of misinterpret holidays quite a lot these days, and we think that holiday and resting and recovering has to be equivalent to traveling, but traveling can actually be quite exhausting, and it might not be the reset that you actually need. And I think that's what I learned from Scotland. And so I think now is the holiday where I'm actually recovering. And I know a lot of people have said this, where they're like, oh yeah, I go on a holiday and then I need another holiday to recover from the holiday because I've just done so much and I've overexerted myself. And you've taken so much in, there's so much input. And I think that also really contributes to burnout when you have so much input going in and there's no kind of baseline, on an ECG, how things go. There's no like baseline relaxation that your mind is in. So I think it's really a learning curve to try and figure out what actually works for you to beat burnout. I guess maybe it's important to talk about what is burnout and what are sort of the symptoms and the signs that you might be able to tell that you were burnt out. And I think for me it was just that I was so demotivated, not just to do my own PhD work, but also just small things in general seemed like such immense tasks that I wanted to run away from and just not do. And things like, cooking for myself, doing the groceries, doing the laundry, things like that, it would just take so much mental effort, and I feel like I would have to plan my whole day around this and sort of fit it into the weekend along with socializing and relaxing. It was like my mind was never off because there was always something to do. And eventually, and I had taken on so many tasks as well. There's so many things that I do on the side as well, which my mind's just constantly churning, and it's exhausting, and I thought, oh my gosh, I always just plod along at 100% the speed, and I just have this like limitless resource of energy. Eventually all that got depleted, and I was just like, I don't want to do anything. And I feel like this had been building up for a while, and I think for me it was just like I wanted to go home, and home might be so different to different people. It might be a place or a feeling of coming home, or it might be a person which or an old friend where when you see them you're just like, oh, it's like coming home. It can mean so many different things, and for me this longing of home was there quite a lot. And I wonder if that's a symptom of burnout, because at home is sort of where we feel quite relaxed and comfortable. And again, obviously different people have different situations, but this coming home feeling is always meant to be a peaceful, restful, relaxing feeling, right? And so when I did come home, I was just incredibly lucky that I just said to Dad, I was like, Dad, I am so exhausted, just mentally as well as physically, that I just can't plan anymore. I can't plan anything. I can't do these small tasks, and I was like, Dad, I don't want to cook, I don't want to do the dishes, I just don't want to do laundry, I just don't want to do anything. And bless him, he's incredible, and he just took care of me. And I've been here for about 7-8 days, and maybe I've only made myself a cup of tea twice, but every few hours he'll like make me food, and I just don't have to plan, I just don't have to cook, I don't have to do anything. And I think that was just so important for me to really start recovering. And I feel like I'm still sort of halfway there, because I had only originally come for a week, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to go back to Oxford just yet. It was sort of giving me a lot of negative emotions, and I was just like, I don't want to go back. And so I actually said to Dad, you know what, I'm just gonna extend another week. I emailed my supervisor, and I was sort of hesitant, because I was like, this is a really important time of my PhD, because my confirmation is coming up in January, and that's already after an extension because of COVID, and I have to do a lot of work. But I was like, I can't, I just need a break, I need to. And I was just like, screw everything, I'm out. And that sort of rebellion really helps as well, I think, when you're just like, I quit, or like I pause, I quit, pause. And you're gonna come back to it. But so yeah, so I extended my holiday as well, and I said to my supervisor, I was like, I'm 1 week was just not enough, and I couldn't cancel my flights or anything, so I had to buy new ones. There was no refunds, everything. But I was like, I'm willing to do that for my own comfort and recovery and health. So I think this is sort of like a long-winded reflection, but what I want to do when I go back to Oxford is I need to figure out a way to like just get this care where I don't have to cook all the time, I don't have to clean all the time. And I thought that cooking for myself would be more sustainable and stuff, but maybe I need to take out or do takeaways more often. Maybe I need to eat in hall more often, so that there's no cleanup or anything like that. I think number two is that it's just so important for me to continue with this rebellious attitude of, I don't care, I'm not gonna do anything when I switch off. And it's really like anything, not do anything. And I mean, it's harder when you're alone, it's harder when you're a student, but do I really need to do the groceries? I don't want to do it, therefore I won't do it. And then you can figure out an alternative, right? I don't think being a better planner is necessarily going to help me, because I already plan my day out quite well. Like, although I have a flexible schedule, I know that this is something that needs to be done today, and I do it, and so I have to work around it. So I don't want to be such a strict planner. I want more flexibility in my day. And I just don't want to push myself to do something that I don't want, even if it's taking a shower, because I think we make a lot of our wants or requirements into needs, and you think, oh, I have to do this. But actually, so what is going to happen if you don't shower today? I mean, if you've showered yesterday, I mean, hopefully it's not gotten to that level where you're just like stinking and stuff, but it's, do you know what I mean? This like sentiment of, I have to do this. Do you really have to do this? I think that's what I'm going to question quite a lot. Do I really, really have to do this? If not, then why is it a have and a must on my brain? Because it adds to the anxiety, it adds to the urgency of the thing. And even if there's stuff that I think I really must do, I'll be more willing to just cancel stuff off my checklist, like I did here. And I realized there's so little I actually need. I haven't gone out of the house for 2 days. And normally it's like, oh, you're just being a hermit sitting at home, and you should go out. You should go on a walk. What if I don't want to? What is all this societal pressure dictating what I should and shouldn't be doing, or when I should or shouldn't wake up? I think that real flexibility and that authenticity of, just doing what you want when you want, that kind of freedom might help. I think especially as a student, when you've got a limited frame of flexibility, you want to be as free inside your cage as possible. It sounds weird, but you know, aren't we all hamsters in a wheel? What else? I think another thing I did here, which I found super relaxing, was I always sit with the lights on. And what my dad used to do here is he literally comes into every room and he'll shut the lights off and he will just stare out the window. And that was so relaxing. We'll make a cup of tea and just stare out the window with the lights out, you know? And it's just so relaxing and calming, and it's just like it helps your brain sort of calm down and wind down. But when the lights are all on, it's like, is it work time? Is it work mode? I need to be thinking, I need to be planning the future, and what am I gonna do? You know, all these things you just don't switch off. And that's something I definitely want to incorporate when I go home. Another thing I did here, which I actually don't do much in Oxford, is watch television. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but it's mostly like information, so it's still a lot of input. But here I was able to watch just like stupid television shows and just laugh at how bad they acted and how stupid the dialogues were. And I was just sort of in a mindless, soulless state. And I think you need that somewhat. You know, you need to go into your vegetative state a little bit and just do these activities which are kind of pointless and meaningless. And it's not because you're not filling time with it or anything, but it's I want to be bored when I go back to Oxford. It's like I'm never bored, and that's because so my brain's always hyperactivated because it's always excited. It's always learning something new, discovering something, planning something. It's always excited, and I need to let it get bored to death for a little bit. You know, at least one day a week. I just want to be bored and just be like, oh, what do I do in my life? There's nothing to do. You know, because that is maybe ultimately the best way to cure burnout, is to be bored to death. And I think that's why when I used to go home to Saudi Arabia, that was probably the most effective cure to my burnouts, was because I was just at home the whole day and there was nothing to do. Eventually you get tired of all these things, and when you're bored so much, then your brain's like, oh, wasn't it nice to be working, and wasn't it nice to be doing a PhD and doing some research and learning? But yeah, I think when I go home, I want to let myself be bored a lot, or frequently at least. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue sitting here, staring out the window with nothing to do, because it is raining and I can't go outside. But hey, it's helping me recover. See you in another video. Bye.